What is up, everybody? We're back on here live once again for another episode of the weekly win streak. It's your boy TP3, and I'm joined by the hottest man in sports betting right now. What up, bro? How we doing today, my boy?
We're doing well. Another week to smack the books around. It's Monday. Hopefully you all had a great weekend. T, how was your weekend? How's your Monday going?
Yeah, Monday was actually very uneventful. It was pretty chill, so that's actually a good thing, dude. I can't stand a fucking busy Monday where you have to like run a million different places. So that was actually nice. But yeah, it was a solid weekend to say the least. Didn't really do anything too crazy. I was snowed in here, so I didn't like go out and party or nothing like that. I haven't been out yet this year so far. So, man, we're keeping our New Year's resolutions strong, and we're just vibing over here, bro. Just trying to win some bets. Had some I'm just on a horrible fucking luck streak. I basically went even on the week, and with all those bad beats. I mean, if I went 50-50 on them, I would have won like 6 units this week. So just goes to show you how thin the margins are of like having a huge week and having a midweek. So like honestly, really can't complain that much. Like a bad week is when you lose your ass. So at least I didn't lose my ass, because sometimes you can need those breaks to keep you from getting reverse swept and shit like that, and they don't happen. So we had our dubs, we had our losses, and we had our tight losses where we got fucked, and we had like none of those go our way. And so, if anything, I consider it a blessed week that I didn't lose my ass. So we'll look at it that way,
For
Sometimes
sure.
you gotta look at things positively, bro. Positively. What about you?
Yeah. We've had 7 days of profit. So that's good. We're happy. We're happy about that. I just want to ride that momentum of winning. I'll tell you what, that game yesterday fucking really frustrated me though. That really frustrated me. I know you're on Washington. I'm glad you cashed, and now you have the advantage on the head-to-heads. Happy you cashed. Watching that game made me sick, man. It made me sick. The amount of bad calls, the pass interferences in the red zone against Tampa Bay, like that shit really fucking pissed me off. 3 of them. And then, T, have you ever heard forward progress be used as a means to determine an interception or a not interception? I don't know. I never have. Oh, man. I think that people need to calm down on the Jalen Daniels talk. You guys are wanting to make him fucking the next Lamar Jackson, and this dude is mid. He should have had 4 turnovers yesterday. He should have had 4 interceptions, at least two in the red zone, and neither of them happened for him. So I say he's mid. Go ahead.
First of all, he's a rookie.
That's
and
fine.
he just won a playoff game in his first year. And second of all, dude, Jaden Daniels really doesn't have offensive weapons like that. He's the washed up Zach Ertz. He has Scary Terry, who's like probably like the 20th best receiver in the NFL. And then he has a bunch of nobodies. He has Olamide Zaccheaus, De'Ami Brown, and just like a bunch of nobodies. Brian Robinson is meh. He doesn't really move the needle for me. Eckler's pretty washed up at this point in time. Like, I just think that Daniels is making do, man, with average talent. You give him a stud number 1 wide receiver, and just think about how much better he'd be. Like, imagine if he was throwing to AJ Brown and fucking what's his face, Devontae Smith. Like, he'd probably be putting up 10 times better numbers than Jalen Hurts is. I don't know. I thought that game could have gone either way, to be honest with you. I think that I thought that both teams definitely got some good breaks in that game, and I thought both teams definitely took some bad breaks. Like the fact Tampa was able to march the field right before halftime means whatnot to score touchdowns. So ultimately, I think that having the 3 points was definitely, with the way the game went, I'm glad I did. But like both teams definitely had some luck. Teams had some unluckiness. I'll tell you what, man. The Packers are banned for. It's going to take a lot for me to bet on the Packers next season. Let's put it that way. I mean, what the actual fuck, dude? Jordan Love was throwing the ball up for like I don't even understand what that play was at the end of the game, dude. Like some of it, like the first play of the game when they fumbled, I'm not even sure if that was a fumble, and then they still ruled it a fumble. Like, bro, I don't know if I can ever bet on the Packers again, honestly, after yesterday. Like, dude, no team has cost me more coin in the most frustrating ways possible than the Green Bay Packers this season. So the Packers are banned.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think yesterday was like a steam of just like the anger level just kept rising throughout the day. Totally, dude. The Packers had so many chances, and it just felt Jordan Love is not good either. I'll just put that out there. He's not good.
I mean,
He's just chucking this shit
playing
up to
with
anybody.
injuries, and his wide receiving core was decimated. He didn't have Dobbs. He didn't have Watson. I mean, Dobbs and Watson are already outside of probably the top 30 to 40 wide receivers in the league, and the fact that's his 1 and 2 option says enough, in my opinion. So I actually don't think Jordan Love's. I'm not going to write Jordan Love off for it, but I mean, like, dude, I just can't bet the Packers. My buddy who was over yesterday comes over every Sunday and watches NFL with me, and he said I have an addiction to betting on the Packers, and he said I need to go to rehab for the Packers. So.
That's actually funny as fuck.
Yeah, that's what he kept saying to me yesterday. Then in the first game, like, honestly, I was more mad about losing my bet in the first game than I even was about losing the Packers because, one, I had the cap down correctly that Denver played a joke schedule, and they weren't actually any good, and they were not going to be able to hang around in the game. But I just thought they could score points in garbage time and Knicks' ability to run and whatnot, and they weren't even capable of doing that. I mean, like, dude, Denver was absolutely pathetic, and I thought that them getting smacked down was 100% the right side in that game. I just wish I had taken the Bills minus the points instead of taking the over. Like, I was so mad, though, because they admit that field goal and Denver couldn't score 1 point in the second half. Like, that over should have hit.
Yeah, 100%. I almost took the over, too. I can definitely feel being angry there.
Yes, that's honestly the one bet that really pissed me off. Was that one in the Steelers-Ravens over on Saturday night? I mean, that game, 17 minutes left to go in the game, and we can't get 2 points. Like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah. Nope, I feel that. And I feel like Tennessee, that buzzer beater up 7 to lose by 4 when I had a -5. Like,
Yeah, I was on them as well.
That hurt so bad. And then,
dude, that game was rigged, bro. So they called a timeout with 5 seconds left, and they didn't even foul.
Yeah. What was that? It was literally like Vegas called in and was like, hey, exactly. Like, don't foul. That's it. You're done.
No, literally. I don't understand why you call a timeout and not foul. I've never seen that before in my life. So Vegas 100% made the call. They won. Everybody who bet the closing line on got Tennessee -4 got their money back, and every bozo who missed and took Texas +5.5 loss. That's why Vegas keeps the lights on, man. That spread went from 7 down to 4 by tip off. So Vegas had plenty of room to do. That's exactly what Vegas wants right there. They want a middle of bet. Like, they would love for the middle to hit like that, where they can take all the people's money who bet the dog and were late to the party, and they can take all the people's money who were early and bet the favorite. That's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was tough. To have that and then the field goal in the Washington game, just make the field goal. Would you kick it straight? Can you actually make a good kick so I don't feel like I got fucked there too? Like, how does that bounce in?
Yeah, I went like 1 for probably 8 on hooks / like bad beat spots this last week. So you know what that means, guys? It means we're going to get fucking right this week because we still didn't really finish negative last week. So with all that being said, it's enough crying. Let's get into everything here today, guys. We have a small slate of NBA. We have some college basketball as well. Bro, I'll let you take the floor this time and lead us off here with a college hoops play. I'll give an NBA play, then we'll talk about the NFL game. We'll get out of here. Where are we going to college hoops today?
Yeah. So today, guys, college hoops slate is nasty. There's not a lot of spots that I totally love. And this play has gotten steamed down a point, so you get better value than what I have. I still love it, and I just think it's just Vegas trying to get action on both sides at this point, because people were have been hammering Maryland even when it was 16.5. So that said, we're going to take Maryland at home against Minnesota. Maryland oh, fuck. Well, I just gave you my fucking max play by accident. Well, we're already rolling with it. Maryland -16, 2.1 units. Maryland's 24th in adjusted offensive efficiency, 22nd in adjusted defensive efficiency. They're basically top 75 in every single category. And you look at Minnesota, they're just not good. Maryland's 9-7 against the spread, and the only loss they have at home is against Marquette. Minnesota is 2-14 against the spread. So that said, I mean, I like Maryland rather minus the 16. Maryland's also really played some tough competition, and you know they beat Ohio State at home by 30 some points. Okay, so this is a team that has shown they can beat Big Ten opponents, that has shown they can push the pace. They're extremely efficient offensively and defensively. I just think that's the play. It's a big spread, but you guys know we've been launching big spreads in conference play. A lot of people see that shit and they just scroll off of it, or they're quick to take the dogs. Lines are set where they're set for a reason.
I like that. That's pretty sharp right there. Yeah, I don't have much thoughts to be honest with you today on college basketball. I don't know too much about these teams, but I think that's a pretty good call out right there by Bro. So hopefully he's able to catch that one. Let's
And
talk
you
about
guys got so lucky. I'm sitting here reading my notes, and I just brain farted and gave you the max play. That was totally not the play I was supposed to give out here. So you're lucky. Love you. T, what do you got in the NBA? What do you
yeah.
got?
Before we get to the play, I want to say this.
Oh, go for it.
I think it's interesting to see how that these teams react to the fires and whatnot and what all is going on out there in California. I hope everyone's okay, and my thoughts and prayers go out to all them. But we watched the Chargers look completely out of sorts against the Texans and look like they had no idea what they were doing. I'm a little skeptical here, man. The Clippers -7, Lakers -3.5. I think both these teams might get a favorable whistle, though, in basketball here and be able to smack down these teams. We'll see how focused they actually are and how they feel. These are either going to be huge rallying spots or huge, like no-show spots for these two teams. I only see it being one of the two. I can't figure it out, so I'm not going to bet it. Somebody might be able to find an angle, and I hope you do win with that. That being said, tonight, guys, I do have 2 plays so far. Were you about to say something?
Well, I was just going to say, I was also thinking about taking Clippers -6 this morning, but TP3, a bubble of TP3's voice smacked me in the back of my head. I remember you told me you don't like taking teams when their star is back, like the first game back. Isn't this Kawhi's first game back?
Yeah, he played one game, and then he sat out because of the fires.
Oh, I didn't know that he already played one game. All right. Point invalid. But still, TP3 is living large, and his wisdom, it's all over the place, smacking me left and right. But all right, back to the NBA. T, go for it.
Yeah. So anyway, I got a player prop in the Grizzlies Rockets game, but we're gonna go with the Minnesota and Washington game here. We're gonna look at Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards had 2 poor shooting performances in his last 2 games. He didn't even make a 3-pointer last game. He was 0 for 5. And he actually is third in the NBA this season in 3-pointers made per game, averaging 3.7 made threes per game, or it might be 3.8, one of the two. He didn't hit one last game. The Wizards have one of the worst defenses in the league. This team is not a real basketball team. They don't care about playing basketball. Not only do I think Minnesota throttles them here today, but I think Anthony Edwards goes off in this game. I wouldn't be shocked to see him having 30 points by the end of the third quarter here. Before he had these 2 bad shooting performances, he smashed this number of 26.5 points in all 3 games he played before that. I think he does it once again here today. Give me Anthony Edwards to go off on a piss-poor Washington basketball team who doesn't even care about playing ball. And then the other game on the that's honestly all I got right now for NBA. So
Okay. Yeah, I like that. I like that. And especially like getting a star with high volume, like Ant-Man, he's always going to bounce back. You know he's going to bounce back. He's going to have that 35 piece, that 40 piece. And I don't know, you ball too, so you know. I know I used to love playing like Newberry and like Berkshire, 2 really shitty high schools around me. When we played them, I already knew ain't nobody DM me up. I'm gonna drop my 20. I'm gonna have myself a fun game. I'm gonna launch some shots I normally wouldn't, and loosen up a little bit. Maybe that's exactly what Ant-Man needs.
no, it was the same way too for sure for me when you play against bad teams. I would always just want to go ISO and just go to the rack and take advantage of your You want to cook that dude who's trying to guard you. Be like, nah, bro, you ain't on my level. Get the fuck out.
Right,
Yeah,
little bro.
Yeah, no, not even little bro. You ain't even related to me, dog. You're not even allowed on the court with me. That's the type of mentality I'd have when we play teams like that. But anyway, yeah, that's all we got tonight, guys, for the NBA. Should be an interesting slate here. Let's go to the NFL tonight. We got one game. We got the Minnesota Vikings taking on the LA Rams. This game's being played at a neutral site here. The Vikings are favored by 2.5 points here. The total sitting strong at 47.5. Before we talk about props and all that stuff, Bro, do you have a play on the total tonight in this game?
I don't have an official play, but I could only play the under. It just reminds me of the game last night. 2 offenses that you see put up a whole lot of points, and you say these guys are going to score. These guys are going to score. They're going to put up tons of points. They don't play any defense. Well, I think we've seen a paradigm shift in the playoffs. I mean, we were seeing overs, all, especially in prime time, all towards the end of the season, overs heavy. And out of nowhere, the unders have smacked. I think it's 4-1. The unders are in wild card weekend. and the only one that went over was the Houston game, and that should another bad beat, but that game should have never fucking went over. Pick six, and then Knucklehead knocks down a field goal instead of just holding it. That's the only game that went over. I would lean the under, but there's no way that I want to take the under, knowing that I got Darnold who can sling it if he's the Sam Darnold that he might be, or, Matt Stafford slinging it with Puka and Cup and all those boys out there. So I can only play the under, but I'm not playing it. What about you?
I'm trying to find this trend. I can't find it, but in the NFL playoffs, the first round, it's been dominated by unders, but you take a closer look at the data, guys, and you think a little bit more about this. What is the one game that went over to have it in common with, or not have in common with the other games? It was played indoors. All the other games were played outdoor where it's freezing cold. This game was played indoors and it went over the total. I saw something earlier this week that indoor playoff games go over at a pretty crazy volume, and I actually kind of like the over here. We're playing at a neutral site. The only game we saw this season at a neutral site was the Packers-Eagles game, and that game went over the total. Well, I guess technically the London game, so I don't count those as much because they're played at a weird time. But I just feel like that this is definitely an over spot here for these two offenses, where you have two very dynamic offenses on turf. They're going to be fast, but I'm going to stay off the total here. 47.5 is a lot, and it is a primetime game, so I'll stay away from the total. But, guys, for me, the play tonight, me and Brober are going head-to-head here. Give me the Vikings minus the 2.5 points here. I know look, I've listened to everybody's argument today. It's Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold this, Sam Darnold that. Guys, Minnesota lost to two teams this season. They lost to the Rams one time, and then they lost twice to the Detroit Lions, the number one seed in the NFC. Look, their loss to the Rams, I took the Rams in that game. That was like a scheduled loss, in my opinion. They were an undefeated team. They were due for a loss at that point in time. You look at this Minnesota team, what do they struggle against? Teams you can really bring a blitz, and the Rams are not that great of a pass rush. If you look at statistics, Minnesota is essentially better than the Rams in every single statistical category. I can't really find many the Rams are better than them at, and I'm honestly very unimpressed with the Rams' body of work. The Rams, outside of beating the Bills in a shootout, did not really beat any quality opponents down the stretch. They should have lost to the Jets. They played game. They were tied with the Saints at halftime. The Saints are a joke. I'm really worried about the Rams, honestly, in this spot. I don't think they're that great of a team. I think that we got the better team here at every single thing here with the Vikings. And, guys, the Vikings, yes, they got embarrassed last week on national TV. They ran, I think it was 10 plays inside the 5-yard line and scored 0 points. I don't think the Rams have that kind of pass rush to keep them from doing that again this week. If they scored one of those two times, even both times, it would have been a completely different game. They also doinked that field goal. I felt like everything that could have gone bad for the Vikings went bad, and they were in that game until the end where the Lions pulled away late. I get it. It's Sam Darnold, guys, but this is the better team. We got to back the Vikings in this game, guys. We'll take a minus 2.5 here. I think this game's going to get lopsided.
That's fair. That's fair. And one of the cool things is that sometimes we're just not on the same side. It doesn't make it easy for you guys because now you got to make a decision, and you can't just say, oh, all right, TP3 and Brober is on the same thing. I'm locking that. That's fucking auto lock when we're both on the same side. But listen. Are the Vikings a better team? Maybe. All I have to say, I don't put they are regular season heroes. That's right now what I have them as. And until they prove me otherwise, I don't trust him. I don't trust Darnold. I don't trust O'Connell. Neither of those guys have been in a position where it fucking matters. Now it matters. So did last week. And what did they do? They shat down their fucking pants. Listen, the Vikings have beat the Bears twice, the Jags, the Titans, the Jets, Arizona. That's 6 of their 14 wins right there. Dog shit, bottom of the barrel ass teams. And there's nothing to be said about being able to take care of business, because I agree. The Rams are one of those teams that it's almost like the Lakers. Are you going to show up today or not? I have to worry about you showing up first and then worry about actually capping the game, because I don't even know if you're going to be the team that I think you're going to be. But I think in these games where it's absolutely have to have it, I want somebody that has been there before. Perfect example. If I'm cleaning windows and I'm very high up, and this is like my, couple of only a first time doing it, and my shit starts going sideways and one of the fucking things breaks, I want to be with a guy that's been up there before, that's been doing it for years, and that knows how to get me down. I don't want to be up there in a very stressful situation with a guy that's never been there. And then I look at his partner and he says, "Oh, I don't know, boss. I just got hired too. I've never been here either." O'Connell, Darnold, neither of them ever been there. I just can't. I can't trust him. I can't trust him. And if I'm wrong and Sam Darnold is the one that proves me wrong, the guy that's gone from team to team to team to team to team, so fucking be it. So be it. But lastly, I just want to say, everyone's talking about this Vikings defense. The Rams actually finished the regular season with a better weighted DVOA than the Vikings did. So I like the Rams plus 3.5. And I'm adding, it's a 2-leg parlay, Rams plus 3.5. And I'm adding Matthew Stafford to throw 1 touchdown. That leg is minus 700. But for whatever reason, it takes a minus 165 or a minus 167, which is what they wanted for plus 3.5. And it makes it minus 130. So Rams plus 3.5, Stafford for a touchdown. Stafford hasn't played a career playoff game where he hasn't had at least 2. So that's the play.
Okay.
That's the play.
Interesting. Me and Bro going head to head here. Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna say, like, you're definitely right. Both these teams played some really bad teams. They both played some good teams. I'm just more impressed with the team who came out of the division where that they had 2 other teams in their division make the playoffs, opposed to the other team. I mean, I think that Minnesota, we didn't really take them seriously all season long because of the fact they had Sam Darnold. But I mean, Minnesota came out there and handled their business every single week, So I gotta roll with Minnesota here in this one. So it'll be interesting to see how this game ends up playing out. But let's talk about prop angles in this game. If I'm being honest with y'all, if you look at the player props so far, I think playoff props have been pretty tough. I think you just got to back the best players to go off. Honestly, I'm not placing this bet just because I don't really like placing a bet assuming one might lose. But I think Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua to both go over their receiving yards props. I mean, even though I think they're going to lose the game, one of these 2 guys has got to go off because one of them is going to take the majority of the defense. So I think that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, I like that. And I already fucked up and gave you the max play. So I'm pretty much just giving you everything today, guys. I already said Stafford over 1 touchdown. The other prop that I have on my VIP is Stafford over 1.5. I like, even if they lose, Stafford is going to be the reason they're scoring points. The Minnesota Vikings have the 2nd best red zone rush defense in the entire NFL. So Kyren Williams, anytime touchdown wagers, I don't like it. I don't think he scores. I think Stafford's going to be the reason. If they're in this game, it's going to be because of him. And the Vikings have shown that they can get beat through the air. Their secondary is definitely their weakness. And Stafford had 4 touchdowns against them in week 7 when they played, or whatever week that was that they played. So I think over 1.5, win, lose, draw. I think you can count on Stafford to get over 1.5. There is a DraftKings shoot. What do you call that? Like a special or a promotion. It's the touchdown king again. So longest scoring touchdown, you get a share of $2 million if you pick the player that had the longest yard scoring touchdown.
How much do you have to bet on it?
What's that?
How much do you have to bet on it?
How much do you have to bet? I think the minimum wager is $5 or $10 or something. I don't know. I put a unit on it, but my units right now is $25. Not a lot here, but it's okay. It's okay. That said, who do you have? Who do you think will score a touchdown? And then if it's a different person, who do you think will score the longest touchdown?
So who I think is going to score a touchdown today? I think that Aaron Jones is going to score one, and I think Kyren Williams will, just like you said. I think both backs do punch one in. But I think for the longest touchdown, you got to think outside the box here. I think you got to go with Jalen Naylor and Demarcus Robinson because those guys are kind of like the deep ball downfield threats. And I mean, I think at this point, if you're trying to win something like that, you would rather, I mean, if you pick Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Aaron Jones, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, I mean, your payout's going to be minuscule. You'll probably get like $50 to $100. But if you're right and it's Jalen Naylor or Demarcus Robinson, you're basically risking $5 to win like thousands of dollars. That probably more than that. I think I saw people got $13K from Curtis Samuel yesterday. You're probably going to get like at least $5K payout if Jalen Naylor or Demarcus Robinson get the longest touchdown. So I think at that point you might as well risk your $5 or $10 on it and way bigger payout rather than just going with the chalk payout and getting a measly $50 bonus. You know what I mean? Like, who gives a fuck about? I mean, obviously getting an extra $50 is nice, but like, why not go for it all?
Yeah, no, I agree. I just said fuck it. If I'm gonna bet this shit, I think it's gonna hit. Why would I bet it if I don't think it's gonna hit? And if I don't think it's gonna hit, what? Why would I bet it? And then I'm thinking, if I'm going to bet it, why not truly go for it? So I'm going for it. And you brought up one of my guys here, Demarcus Robinson. That's the play for me. I have anytime touchdown score at plus 370 for a full unit. And that is my wager there for the longest reception as well, or the longest touchdown. I also have him first touchdown, 0.3 units at 20 plus 2,200. Now, it's a long shot. And like T said, there is an element of risk and accepting responsibility of that risk. There is absolutely a chance, and I'm telling you right here, right now, there is absolutely a chance that we see Demarcus Robinson put up zeros. Literally 0 targets, 0 receptions, 0 yards. Okay? I want to make that very fucking clear. That said, I researched this more than I'd like to admit, because I really want to be able to brag about this, and I really think this is sharp, and I have a couple of different angles. So first and foremost, Demarcus Robinson has the longest yards per catch out of any qualified yard per catch average out of any qualified receiver in this game. Okay? 16.3 yards per catch. The next closest is Justin Jefferson at 12.1. All right? On top of that, last game against Minnesota, Demarcus Robinson had 2 touchdowns this year. Puka and Kupp were both playing. Before anyone tries to give me shit, oh, they were injured, that's why he was in, he's not going to play. Trust me, I thought that too. Not the case. 2 touchdowns. And if you look at all of his, if you look at his touchdowns, they are either 30-yard bombs. He has 2 or 3. And then all the other ones are goal line. Goal line, goal line, goal line. There's something to be said about the fact that Stafford trusts him at the goal line, on the goal line, to be that third option. If the Vikings are going to key in on the run, and then they're going to key in on Kupp and Nakua, Demarcus Robinson's going to find himself open. And if there's one thing we've seen for sure, these fucking guys scoring the first touchdowns these last couple of games, Vegas is pulling out all the stocks. Dyami Brown and fucking all these guys. Who the hell are these guys? Never even knew this. I thought Dyami Brown was out of the NFL. Guess not. Former Torio, I think. That said, though, it's got to be Demarcus Robinson for me. He's going to score. I think he might get the first touchdown. If this all hits, just the first touchdown and the anytime touchdown, 9 units cashed up. So that's the hope. That's the hope. We want to really pop off today. Demarcus Robinson, anytime touchdown, first touchdown, longest touchdown.
I like how we're kind of aligned on that one. And everything Breber said, I think you got to bet Demarcus Robinson to have the longest touchdown. Yeah. I think that, fuck Jalen Naylor. I think it's got to be Demarcus Robinson right there.
We love it. We love it. Yes, sir.
All right. That's pretty much all I got for the show today. Anything else you want to add?
No. Just thankful for you guys. Thankful for your time. Sorry for the quality of my tech on this side. I am house sitting, watching 4 fucking dogs, and I forgot a whole bunch of stuff. Forgot my ring light. Forgot my little mount thing that holds my phone, my computer charger. A lot of stuff. Tough. But really appreciate you guys and appreciate you working with me here. It's a blast hopping on here, you know? Honestly, I'll be honest. I was not feeling doing this. I didn't want to do it until I started doing it, and now I'm happy I did it. So, thank you. Thank you again for sharing your time. T, what do you got for us?
Let's get some fucking money tonight.
Let's do it.